are here at the Grow, Optimize, and Succeed Daily Landscaping Tips. Right now, I'm shooting to do this every day, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, last about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the tip, and maybe if there's any comments or questions as the audience begins to grow. So, today, what I want to talk about is the caterpillar to butterfly method, how to train your employees to become leaders. Now, this is something that I've spoken of before earlier this week in the webinar that I've done concerning hiring a landscaping team to become a powerhouse for your business. I talked about the caterpillar to butterfly method. And briefly, what it is, I'd had an employee that had started out just doing flyers with me. Over time, on mentoring him, eventually he became the right hand in my business, handling all the day to day operations. It was a method that I used not just with him, with a number of people that had worked with me over the years to teach them different aspects of the business, to grow them so that they could become leaders if that's what they were interested in, or just better skilled technicians in the field, because not everybody wants to be a leader, right? And this really worked for me. So what I want to do is kind of talk about the process. Why does it matter? If you build your team the right way, you're not just going to have workers. You're going to have people who think, they take ownership, and eventually they take tasks off your table so that you can grow. I should say task off your plate, right? So that you can grow. You can only work on the business if you're not having to work in the business. And by growing a team that works in the day-to-day operations of your business, and when they have ownership for it, it can really propel you forward. What does ownership mean? It means, you give somebody responsibility. Look, a person that's just doing the weed eating and edging on a property, they can take ownership of that, right? Or they could just be there for a job and just getting, their money and whatever. But a person that takes ownership of it, cares about the quality of their work, cares about how it reflects on the business, cares about what their role is and how it helps the business to grow as well. So ownership can be at any level. It could be, like I said, somebody doing edging and weed eating. It could be somebody running a crew. It can be a person who's responsible for doing the scheduling for the entire business. They take ownership for that. It depends on the size of your business as to how much responsibility you give people, but them taking ownership of it is a far better type team member to have than somebody that's just there for 7 to 3 every day, 7 to 4, and they're just worried about their check and make sure that they get their 2 weeks of vacation. But how do you build that in a team, right? So what you're going to do is stop hiring for skills. Okay, you can teach somebody how to mow. You can teach somebody to edge and weed eat. That person that came to work for me that was originally doing flyers, they didn't know anything about sod installations. They didn't know anything about irrigation. They didn't know anything about hardscaping. Bit by bit, I taught them the different aspects of the business until they were able to not only do them and perform them well, and he performed them all very well, but he was able to oversee other people and train other people how to do that stuff. Okay, so I say you hire for attitude and you hire for growth potential. And what is growth potential? Look, not everybody's going to end up being your right hand, and not everybody could be. There's only one right hand man in a business, right hand person in a business. So not everybody needs to grow to that position, but you do need leaders, and you need people that think logistically, and you need to be looking for people that could grow into a position that maybe you don't have available right now, but you anticipate, if you believe you're going to grow, that you're going to have those leadership positions available 6 months down the road or 2 years or whatever your plan is. Okay, so you want to hire for attitude and you want to hire for growth potential. And if you're just hiring based on experience, my experience, you're going to butt your head up against people that are telling you all the time, I know how to do it better. Okay, maybe you do. But I want you to do it my way. There's a reason that, I'm asking you to do it my way. With me, a lot of the times, yeah, there were different ways to do the landscaping or the irrigation work or the sod. But the reason that I asked for it to be done my way was quality control, right? If you did it my way, then we know if you miss a step. We've written it out so that you avoid missing a step. So I wanted it done that way. Also, because some people's way isn't quality driven, right? I was always concerned with the long term health of my clients' lawns. And so some people, they take shortcuts and they'll do things that are going to end up just, costing you business down the road. So by asking somebody, to do it my way, I'm ensuring that, I have control over the quality in the business. And that's really important. So I stopped looking for people that said they had experience, and I started looking for people that had the attitude I was looking for, that shared vision and value with me, and that I saw, maybe had growth potential. You can't always 100% ascertain any of those things in an interview, but you can start to get a feel for it. And, chances are, if you rely on your gut, you ask the right questions, you're going to be very successful starting to find people like that. Okay. So, the caterpillar stage of this caterpillar to butterfly, it's investing in the raw talent. Every employee, doesn't matter if you do hire somebody that has experience, they start as a caterpillar with you. Okay, they're rough around the edges, they don't know how to do it your way. Okay, the way that you're insisting for your quality and the control that you need in the business, but they're full of potential. Okay, your job as a leader is to give them the right environment to grow. What is the right environment? To me, the right environment is, it's okay to make mistakes. Just don't make the same mistake over and over again, right? I encourage people to try, to stretch their limits, okay? Because that's the best way for them to learn. And if they make a mistake, I don't hold it over their head. Like I said, unless they're making the same mistake over and over again. If they make a mistake, my question to them is, what did you learn? Right? What will you do in the future to avoid this problem? Okay. So you want to give them an environment to grow. You want to give them an environment where they can ask you questions. And you want to create an environment where all the team understands that asking questions is okay. You'll often hear there's no such thing as a stupid question. I would say that the worst question is the unasked one. Okay. Because if you don't ask the question that you need, an answer to, then you're not going to grow. So ask questions and create the environment that makes that possible. You want to teach them the right way to do things. That's your way, right? But you also want to have in that environment that you are the type of person that allows input. Somebody may say, "Hey, boss, I noticed that we do it this way, and this I understand why you want to do it, but did you ever think that if we added this step, it would make it better?" And you being open to listening to that, now you're starting to, you know, get them involved and engaged, okay? And by being open to that, and if they've got a good idea, actually making that change gives them that buy-in, okay? Lets them feel that, you do value them growing. And part of growing is making mistakes, like I said, but also participating in coming up with solutions. Okay. You don't want people that are just mow and go. You want people that, the efficiency and quality matter to them. So then next you move on to the chrysalis stage. And this is where you start to give them a little bit of responsibility. It doesn't have to be a lot, but you could, say to somebody, um, you know, I'm going to give you the responsibility for figuring out how the trucks need to be loaded every day because it's not been working, right? And then tell them, come up with an idea and then just bring it to me and let them struggle with it a little. Let them, try and find the most efficient way to do it. And but do it in a controlled situation. Don't give them a task and then just kind of run away and let them have to solve it. That's not a good way to do it. But you give them something in a controlled environment that they can be responsible for, but yet you're there to be able to answer questions. Okay, you check in and you let them ask you for advice, and you give them feedback, and you encourage them to seek feedback from other people. Okay, so that they can refine their processes. One thing that I would constantly do with newer people, after they would finish a job, when I would check in on jobs with them, frequently I would check in on my people. And when I would get to a job, maybe there'd be a new guy there, and I'd say, hey, I always called my new people Junior. Hey, Junior, come here, and I'd say, so do you think that this job is 100%? Do you think that this is right? And then I just kind of step back and listen, listen to what they had to say. So this it gives you the opportunity to have a conversation with them, and it's in a non-judgmental way. You can hear what they see, what they think. You can see what they see through their words, and then you can guide them to the area where you're hoping that they're going to grow. Okay, so then the last stage is that butterfly stage, and that's the leadership and ownership. So when an employee starts thinking like an owner instead of a worker, that's when you know that you have a butterfly. When you can give them responsibility and or a task, or a box within which to work, and they thrive in that. Okay, or they may still trip or fall occasionally here or there, but they're really starting to grow. That's when you know you've got a butterfly. Okay, they train new employees because they've been mentored, so now they start to mentor. Okay, um, that is the caterpillar that you have, and you want to encourage your people to teach. Okay, that needs to be the environment that you build in your business. And if you do that, you will start to grow a fantastic team that takes over the responsibility of the day-to-day things that you really shouldn't be putting your mind to, so that you can step back and grow the business. You can work on the business and not in the business. So that's what I've got for today. And that's, I want to thank you, and you can join me tomorrow when we discuss another landscaping tip. Take care.